What is up, everybody? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. It is me and Garnett tonight. Garnett, can you hear me?
I absolutely can.
Yay! Um, we are going to be going over a case. I haven't seen anybody uh cover this case. There's not really a lot of information. But we're just gonna. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining us. But we're just gonna go over it and talk about it. Um, this is a case of Jordan Rodriguez. He was a 5-year old um autistic boy, and I'm going to start off with the 911 call that started it all. The 911 call happened December 18th. And it was from um the mom Larissa's boyfriend Christopher. So Christopher Rodriguez and Larissa, what is it? Larissa Rodriguez.
Larissa.
Uh-huh. Um so 911 gets a phone call, and this gentleman says, "I'm calling from overseas. I guess I need to talk to a detective or something. It's kind of messed up, but the whole situation. But my brother told me something and I just can't sleep at night. As far as what happened, he lives in Detroit. I don't know what address, but basically he told me something happened to one of the kids, and they didn't call the cops, and basically they buried the kid in the backyard. Now, mind you, my brother tends to lie a lot, so I blew it off. It's not his kid, it's one of her kids, his girlfriend's. He told me he came home because his girlfriend called him, so he rushed home, and the little boy is maybe 4 or 5. I only met him one time. I don't know much about him. He told me that when he got home, the boy was unresponsive. He said this kid had a lot of problems. He's only been with this girl for 2 years. I only met her twice. I can give you the names, but it just doesn't sound, but doesn't this sound crazy? It kind of sounds insane. Um, her name is Larissa Rodriguez. Now, mind you, or no, his name is Christopher Rodriguez. Now, mind you, he's locked up right now for child support. He's already in jail. I told him to call the cops. He made it seem like it was months ago, and that's why I was mad. Um, he made it. Oh, okay. I said, why didn't you call the cops? He told me when he got locked up the next day. So I couldn't confirm because the phone shut down if it was true or not. I felt like it needs, he was talking really weird. I felt like it needs to be looked into. Maybe I'm being biased, but I don't think he did it. What kind of mother would do that? I mean, he was crying when he told me. I told him I can be in Cleveland to meet you in person. I even told him to before he got locked up, like, hey man, you need to turn her in. He said, I will take a lie detector. He was dead when I got there. Then the phone hung up. He said that multiple times. All he told me was the kid was buried in the backyard and he had a lot of problems. They told the other kids he was staying with aunts. So I just need a welfare check. Um, so that happened on what did I say? December 18th.
18th.
Um, so the day after, no, that same day, the police go to Larissa's house to do a welfare check. They first go behind the house just to um you watch the interrogation. Oh my gosh. Did you listen to the jail phone calls? They're freaking disgusting. Oh, we'll go into it in a minute. But they went behind the house first, then they went back to the front and they knocked. It took her a minute to open. Um and they said, "Hey, do you have a 4 or 5 year old that lives here?" And she said, "Oh yeah, my son Anthony, he's 4. What is this concerning? Why are you guys here?" Authorities then told Larissa they got a concerning tip about one of her sons and that they need to do a welfare check. She said, "Well, all my kids are here." And then they asked how many kids she had. She said 4. And they said, "Well, I thought you had 9." She said, "Well, they all don't live with me." And then he said, "Well, is one of your kids disabled in any kind of way?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, my son Jordan, but he's in Texas with his dad right now. He's just visiting." Um, so then they ask Larissa, "Well, can we have the father's phone number?" And she said, "Well, I don't know it." And then she goes on to say, "Well, it's disconnected and he's supposed to get a new phone and then he's going to call me." And she's laughing, she's being calm. All It's so disturbing because this whole time she knows that her son is buried in the backyard. And she's just calm as can be, laughing. Um, so she then asked again, what was the call about? They were like, "We just told you, welfare check." She said, "Well, I get these a lot by ignorant people that just like to call them all the time on me. CPS, I get welfare checks, and nothing ever happens, out of it." Then they asked her to make a list of all her kids. So she does that and she misses a couple of them. And they're like, "Ma'am, your kids, you didn't even name all of them or their birth dates." Um, so they ended up coming back the next day and bringing her in to interrogate her. And Garnett, do you want to talk about the interrogations? Did you?
I did listen to the interrogations. Her interrogation, what I heard of it, is pretty much like she takes some responsibility for what happened to Jordan, but she blames it on Chris like fully. She once again, no care in the world about this boy, just none. Like, it's all matter of fact, just, yeah, this is what happened. And
Mm-hmm. There was really, um, and you guys, this is another case where CPS failed. There was more than a dozen phone calls on her through her lifetime. And
she
she had,
started having babies at 14, right?
yeah,
And she was what, 35 or 6?
30, she was 34.
Okay. So
Some of her kids ended up getting taken away, so she only had the 4 that were living there. And they range from 12 months to
12 years. 16 months to 12 years.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant. Oh my God, these people are just they're idiots. So you guys, when the police go and interrogate and bring her in, her boyfriend is in jail at the time for not paying child support. And he's in there a couple of months and they're making phone calls. He's calling her every day saying the most weirdest stuff and they're acting like nothing happened. So
I listened 3 days to these jailhouse calls between him and her. And this is months. Like, the one video I haven't even finished. It's 14 hours long.
Yeah.
These just disgusting jailhouse calls. He starts every call with, what does he say?
Oh, he
Um,
says,
my lovely soulmate or
yeah,
something of that sort.
every sentence ends with my lovely soulmate, my sexy
My
soulmate.
sexy soulmate, yep.
Um, and the only time that I heard him worry was when he said, I'm gonna be in here for the rest of my life. So I don't know if he kind of felt like, okay, they're gonna catch on. And at one point she sounded kind of off. And he wanted to make sure, like, oh my God, is she gonna say something? Is she gonna turn herself in? So he kept asking her, like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? Like he didn't want to get caught up in this. So
And the
um
way he talks, because like I said, there's months of conversations between them, and he's constantly telling her, "Smack that boy." The two boys, there's Bobo and I don't remember
me
the other.
Mimi, he's telling Mimi, right, to smack the shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the oldest. That's the 12-year-old,
he's
and the
like,
two
smack the
boys.
shit out of him. Smack the shit, like hit him with your strong hand. And he's telling this child to hit
Her
one of the
sibling.
younger siblings. Hey Jody, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Like, and that's not just one phone call. That goes on several phone calls. Like, anytime he can hear the kids over top of Larissa, he's telling her, "You need to tell those boys, send those boys to their damn room. Smack that boy in the mouth." I could only imagine what it was like when he was there.
Oh yeah, he used
Like,
to say, "Wait till I get home." He's like,
yep,
"Wait till I fucking get home. Your ass is mine." Like he used to threaten them on the phone. It was disgusting. Ugh. It was so disgusting.
and this woman now, Larissa, and I try not to judge because I don't know anybody's life, but she's got 9 kids, and I don't think any of them had the same father, which, okay, whatever. But she would bring men in and out of these children's lives, and like immediately they became daddy. And
Hmm.
like there was no time between. I the one interview with one of the previous boyfriends that she had a child with, he said, she moved this guy in that was his supposedly her cousin or something like that, and then he found sexy talk on her phone with this guy. Then he moved out and was trying to start his life over, and she then had him come back and then had him beat up, and then she meets this Christopher on Facebook and brings him into the mix, and that's
Hmm.
when the other guy just dipped out completely. But she changing boyfriends like their underwear. I mean, it was really, and to have them involved in these children's lives the way
Yeah,
she did, it was very, very concerning.
it is. I don't understand why you have to bring men that you barely know around your kids. And on these phone calls, she's telling them, like, daddy loves you, and say you love daddy, and you could just the kids are like like quiet, like, no, you know um I don't understand why women bring these men that they barely know around their kids, because it always ends up the same situation. you know uh, Not always, but in all these cases it does. it's disgusting. You know, the house was in very, very bad condition as well. He used to put socks in Jordan's mouth. You know, even she claims that she was abused by him and that he's put a sock in her mouth as well. Um, so
Wait a
when
minute. He put a sock in whose mouth?
and Larissa and Jordan.
But Larissa was putting socks in the kids' mouths before Christopher ever came into the picture.
Well, in
Because
interrogation, she's saying Christopher used to put socks in Jordan's mouth, and he put a sock in my mouth one time to shut me up.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That goes back to where this mom is not at all truthful.
Mm-mm.
Like, she's definitely just trying to make it sound like Christopher did this all and it was all him. And I don't for 1 minute believe that.
I don't know. It was definitely both of them. Especially she's the one that let him in, and
Right, right. I do believe he was abusive, but I do absolutely believe that she caused this child's death, and that's her blood.
exactly. It's this whole story. Yeah, definitely it was definitely both of them, Barbara. They're both disgusting human beings. The mom, she should have. I call it, what is it? Benefits for babies. These people get pregnant and they just live off the state. Both of them, they didn't work. You know,
No.
um, she was. Oh, after they got sentenced, well, we'll go into that in a minute. But the police end up. She tells them where the body is. The police go. They dig him up. They find what are those mothballs?
Mm-hmm.
They find him in a bag with a bunch of mothballs in it. Um, so um, oh, um, so they, they're both in jail. They're both taken into custody. Obviously, they ended up pleading. They made a. They had a plea deal. Well, they pleaded guilty to felonious. What is that? Felonious assault.
Yeah.
Endangering children and offenses against human corpse. In exchange, the prosecutor dropped the charges of murder.
Ugh.
Like, I don't understand how that happens. Judge Nancy Margaret immediately sentenced Larissa to 25 years and Christopher to 28 years, also subject to 5 years probation when they get out. So they torture and murder this poor innocent child, and that's
Mm-mm.
all they get. That is that's all they get.
It's mind-boggling how little amount of time these people get. And this case makes me so angry for personal reasons. Like, I don't understand how, these children that he's never going to have a first love. He's never going to graduate high school. And in 25 years, she's going to walk the streets like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yep. She's gonna get to live, the rest of her life. She'll be like 50 something.
Well, she'll
Mm.
probably get,
Oh,
I'm not sure about Ohio,
well,
but good time.
well, she also got, you guys, she also got another 3 years because in 2018, Larissa pled guilty to food stamp fraud. So the caseworker, one of her caseworkers was buying food stamps from 2015 to 2017. Nancy Cabello. She was
Mm-hmm.
paying Larissa 50 cents for every $1 of food stamps. So she ended up getting 3 years added on to her time, and the caseworker ended up going to prison as well for like a couple years. But that's still not enough. That's nowhere near justice.
No, because like I said, with what is it that they call it when they behave themselves in jail, they get time knocked off. When are they eligible for parole? Like, it's just disgusting to me.
Exactly. I did see that they're not eligible for parole. Let me make sure. Hold on. But yeah, where's the justice for this? What they have done? There is none. And this is what a lot of people, a lot of these cases, it's the same thing. There's not enough justice. 1-5, nothing will be able to bring him back. I'm trying to unlock my thing. Okay. Nothing will be able to bring him back. When they found him, they couldn't even give a cause of death. They did find broken ribs, and they found signs of abuse, but they couldn't give an exact cause of death.
No, because they had buried him and left him in the backyard for fucking ever.
And the last time he was seen by family, it was July 17th of 2017. July 31st, she told, she had a friend living with her, and so I guess a friend also saw him half dead in a closet. July 31st, she told a family member that they asked, "Where's Jordan?" And she was like, "Oh, half dead in my closet." But nothing was done about it. Nobody called, nobody did. They just said, "Oh, okay." And then she told her nephew that she sent him to the aunt's house in Texas so he could get better. They kept asking her, like, "Hey, where's Jordan?" And she was just, "Oh, still in Texas, still, still with my aunt." And then, when the police asked her, she said, "Oh, with the ex in
with his
Texas."
father.
It's so, just, and the brother, everybody wants to praise the brother. Like, okay, yeah, thank you for calling the police, but you called months after. I don't care if you didn't know if it was a lie or not, but I don't see somebody lying and making up a story like that. He should have called right away. He was overseas, but he should have made that phone call right when Chris, told him about it. Hey, Chris is live, and told him I rewatched it so later because I'm watching your channel. I told him he is doing a great job. Oh, I know. I saw Chris was live right when we were going live. I was like, ah.
My work schedule makes it so hard.
It's okay. Because we really are so bad at this. We say one time, and then I'm like, wait. And then something happens. We're so bad.
That's because we have lives that just are always crazy.
Right. But you guys, this is, it's just sad. It's a really sad case. The other kids, they ended up going into foster homes. Some of them are with their biological dads. I'm not sure which ones are. But hopefully, I just hope that they get counseling, they get the therapy that they need. And if they are kept in foster homes, like, I hope the abuse just stops. Because, a lot of time when kids go to foster homes, there's more abuse.
Because our entire system is broken.
It is. It is, you
It
guys.
it it tends to be money funded instead of heart funded. People foster a lot of times just for the profit, and um, the kids suffer. So the entire system's broken.
It is. It's disgusting and it's not gonna change. Not unless everybody in this world gets together and does something about it. But that's never gonna happen. Um, you know, it's sad. It's sad. Something does need to be done. But and I also we didn't bring up this. I don't use this. I don't think this is any kind of excuse. Larissa saw her mom um, get stabbed to death when she was younger by a boyfriend. So, um, she did, I guess, have a hard life. She would run away. She got pregnant at an early age. But, a lot of people do, and they don't grow up and abuse and beat their kids and murder their kids. Um, she was on the news. I think it was what she was on the news in like 2007 speaking about her mom.
Something like that.
Yeah. But oh, Barbara, I would, but we're about to end this because we want to do one more video because we have to make it quick. Um we're because this was just going to be a short video, you guys, because like we said, there's not a lot of information on it.
No, in
Okay,
this case is pretty much closed. I mean, they're in jail for 28 years. And Jordan didn't get the justice he deserved.
thank you, Barbara. He didn't, you guys. And we just want to, it's another case. CPS failed. This child, it happens all the time. And we just want to bring awareness to that as well because it
There's
needs
got to
to
be a
be.
better way. There's got to be a better way. This is, I don't know what the breakdown is in the system there, but CPS is missing. And, just as much as they miss, they take kids from families where they shouldn't be taken. So,
Exactly.
that entire system is really, really broken.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's really sad. Um, but yeah, you guys, so that was Jordan's story. There was nothing really, we couldn't even find his birthday. We couldn't find, you know,
Sadly, because he wasn't missing, there wasn't like a missing poster. There wasn't, nothing that told about his life or who he was.
yeah, every time you look up his name, it's just his full name doesn't even it's just Jordan. Um, I don't know if he has his mom's last name, which is Rodriguez, but Christopher's last name is Rodriguez too, but they're not married. It's just both of their last names. Um, but
Oh,
Jordan, it doesn't even have his name on there, anywhere. Like when you Google this story, only the boyfriend and the mom pops up.
Jody, it's so
Um,
sad to see that it's as broken in Australia as what it is in America. Like,
it
that's
really
so
is.
very sad.
It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
All right, so we're going to end this one and do the next one.
We got some tea, y'all. We're gonna talk about Dee Dee Spicer and her lawyer from Kyron Horman's case. We're just gonna go through some rumors. It's gonna be quick, but you know, please
Yeah,
go
for anybody
join.
that's in our group, they'll definitely should know what we're talking about there. You know,
Yeah, if you guys are not on our group, please go to Facebook and go to Kyron Horman Investigation New, Old, and Ignored Tips. We are working hard to find the truth, find Kyron. We're doing everything we can. Um, and we're very active in Kyron's case. If you go through our other videos, you can see it. So, but we're gonna get off of here. We'll be back in another 5 minutes. And please, if you haven't, like I said, go on Facebook. It is called Kyron Horman Investigation New, Old, and Ignored Tips.
and
Thank you guys.
please, you guys follow Arctic. Check out his lives. Support each other. That's what we're here for.
Yes, go to Chris Thorns, go to Arctic Fox True Crime. You know, we all work together. We're all in this together. And please give this video a like and join us in a couple of minutes. We will be right back.
Night.
Good night.